여러분 안녕하세요. 지니 선생님이에요. 다시 만나 반가워요. Today we're going to talk about 관형어. You haven't forgotten about it, have you? What is 관형어? Yes, 관형어 is a word that modifies a noun in Korean. Last time we talked about the present tense. We're going to study the past tense and the future tense of 관형어. Before we study them, we'd better review the present tense, right? If the verb that will modify the noun is an action verb or a descriptive verb that ends with 있다 or 없다, then 는 should be added to the verb stem, while 니은 will be added to the verb stem if the verb is a descriptive verb. So it is time to look at the past tense 관형어. Let's take a look at the following phrases. Number 1. I want to return the book that I bought yesterday. Number 2. The student who was lazy last year has become very diligent. If you look at the first sentence, we need to use the phrase that I bought yesterday to modify the noun book. The second sentence is the phrase who was lazy to modify the noun student. Just like the present tense 관형어, the past tense 관형어 depends on the nature of the verb, action verb and descriptive verb. Let's take a look at the rules first. As you see in the rules, if the verb that should be changed to modify a noun is an action verb, we have to see if there is a final consonant in the last letter of the verb stem. For example, the phrase that we used, the book that I bought yesterday, we have to use the word bought. In Korean, it's 사다, and the verb stem is 사. 사 does not have a final consonant. Therefore, 니은 should be added to 사. Hence, the book that I bought yesterday will be 내가 어제 산 책. What about the student who was lazy last year? We have to use the word lazy because it modifies the student. To be lazy in Korean is 게으르다, and it's a descriptive verb. So it can be either 게으르던 or 게을렀던 if you want to use 았던, 어떤, 했던. Also notice that 게으르다 is a 르 irregular verb, so it becomes 게을렀던 instead of 게으렀던. Let's take a look at a couple of other examples. Example 1. The problem that was difficult. Verb stem 어렵다 plus 문제 becomes 어렵던 문제 or 어려웠던 문제. Example 2. A student who went to the library. 도서관에 가다 plus 학생 becomes 도서관에 간 학생. Notice that the first example has difficult and its Korean is 어렵다. Since 어렵다 is a descriptive verb, 던 is added to the verb stem. It can be 어려웠던 as well. Notice that 어렵다 is a 비읍 irregular verb. Therefore, 비읍 is dropped because of 이응 in the next letter. However, in the second example, the verb went is used and its Korean verb form is 가다. Since the verb stem 가 does not have a final consonant, 니은 is added and it is 간. Therefore, a student who went to the library becomes 도서관에 간 학생. Oftentimes, people use 던 or 았던, 어떤, 했던 to an action verb instead of a descriptive verb. For example, 내가 가던 도서관 or 내가 갔었던 도서관. If you use 던 or 았던, 어떤, 했던 to an action verb, it indicates an experience of the past. Therefore, there's a difference in the meaning of the library that I used to go to and the library I went to. So let's make sure to use each expression correctly. The next thing that we're going to study is the future tense of 관영어. The examples of the future 관영어 is like the book that I will read, the college that I will go to, the food that I will eat. Let me show you the rule first. So simple, huh? As you see, it doesn't matter whether the verb is an action or a descriptive verb. Simply add a different form depending on the final consonant to the verb stem. Therefore, the book that I will read would be the college that I will go to will be 내가 갈 대학. The food that I will eat will be 내가 먹을 음식. Using those Korean phrases, you can say 엄마, 이게 내가 살 책이에요. 내가 갈 대학은 UCLA예요. 내가 먹을 음식은 국수예요. So, to summarize the three different tenses of 관영어, let's take a look at the rules one more time. As you see, the past tense and the present tense of 관영어 depends on the nature of the verb, while the future tense of 관영어 is simply to use something 을일. 관영어 is very important to expand our Korean quite a bit. It is important to remember this one fact, that whatever you want to modify the noun always comes in front of the noun. It makes 관영어 really easy. 다음 시간에 만나요.